Sony has finally released their plan, or at least an outline of their plan, to compete with Microsoft's Game Pass. And as a Sony fan, I'm not really impressed. It looks like the rumors that I've been seeing on Twitter are true. And I have to make this response because a lot of people on Twitter go back and forth about, it's not about being a fanboy, it's about being honest about what's going on as a consumer. And I'm not a big fan. I'll just make it short and simple. This is not a great solution to what Microsoft is doing, but you have to understand that Microsoft, a lot of people don't understand that Microsoft is a company that is about 15 times the size of Sony. Microsoft is like top three, top four biggest companies in the world. Sony isn't. And of course, both companies are not exclusively focused on gaming, but they are focused on greed. This little clip from Ghostwire Tokyo is a good example. But anyway, Sony is basically just doing a streaming service. It looks like an extension of what they're already doing with PlayStation Now. And they're going to include some more games. We don't have a full list, I don't think, yet, but supposedly most of their library, which just confirms that they could have always done backwards compatibility but decided against it for whatever reason. I don't think it's a great offering. PlayStation Plus, I want to make it clear. PlayStation Plus has never been very good. It's almost been a scam during the PlayStation 4 era. And I say this as someone who used PlayStation Plus since 2010. When I was a little kid, I had PlayStation Plus just to see what it was, and it was kind of a waste of money back then, and it is especially a waste of money now. There are, of course, some really good games that if you haven't played them in the PlayStation Plus collection, there are, of course, some amazing games in that. And every once in a while, they do put a game on there that might interest me that I haven't bought before. But if you're a consumer and you spend a lot of money playing a lot of games, it's not so much of a big deal. The idea that you have to pay to play online is ridiculous, especially considering that people on PC don't have to pay. But Microsoft started that thing too with the gold subscription. But anyway, I just looking at what has been released, it looks like if you want to pay for the PlayStation Plus Premium, it's going to be about double the cost of what currently is right now for PlayStation Plus. It could be that Sony will eventually release some of their exclusives into this new service at a reduced cost, or maybe I'm thinking like a month or two after a new game has come out, it might go into the service. I don't think every game comes to Game Pass day one, but maybe. I mean, that's the whole idea of Microsoft buying Activision and so on and so forth, so that they won't lose money by releasing third-party titles because they will now own the titles. Again, Microsoft has been able to do this because they have so much money and they apparently aren't bothered spending that on their gaming sector. Sony, a much larger part of Sony is their gaming division, but they don't have the money that Microsoft has. But I'm not really pleased with the current model that Sony's doing either. I still think that Sony is, they have so much history of innovating that I think they will continue to make a lot of the best games out there. I think the exclusives are absolutely. I think they need to do more multiplayer. I think we'll be seeing that. But I definitely think Sony is a good place for single player exclusives. And at some point they're gonna have to put those in a service because we see Netflix trying to do the same thing. We see these other companies trying to do what Game Pass is doing, and Netflix wants to get into gaming. But really, Sony is still at the top of the heap as far as the gaming world is concerned. But I don't believe in streaming. I don't like the idea that you can't own your content, that you have to go through a paywall to get that, and they want to keep us tied to the internet. Some people don't have great internet. A lot of people don't, and I think you should be able to download the game. So I don't like the fact that this is all about streaming. There will be more information, I'm sure. This doesn't launch right away, but I don't think it's an excellent response to Microsoft. I don't know if I would be. I would still invest in Sony. Personally, I would still invest in Sony, but I don't think this is the worst news, but it's not You know, Sony has some work to do, and they need to focus on what they do well. But even just playing Ghostwire Tokyo is a great example. Ghostwire is a timed exclusive on consoles because Sony didn't want it going on the Microsoft store. They didn't want to go into Steam. They figured, well, we can sell more consoles, so they will come and play our games. These subscription services are kind of changing that. And I'm not a big fan of PlayStation Now, and I think backwards compatibility should have been there from the beginning. A lot of these games are already remastered, and Sony could be doing that with a lot of their older games. Could be getting that treatment as well. But I mean, some people don't like to buy the game. Some people just want to rent the game, I suppose. So, if I had to give it a ranking, I'd probably give it a B. I'll be fair, I'd give it a B. It's not incredible by any stretch of the imagination. We'll see in time if it's good, but I do want to just reiterate, I think PlayStation Plus is stupid. You shouldn't have to pay to play online when the best games that we ever had were on the PlayStation 3. They were free to play, the multiplayer games. And but to be honest, Sony has been trying to do over the years. They've been trying to give more AAA games for free or discounted from PlayStation Plus. So hopefully we continue to see that. I'm not sold on the streaming, but it's predictable from Sony. You know, they had to respond in some way. It isn't the greatest response, but we'll see how it goes.